Hello, I'm Toxic Razor, and you're watching The Wave of Things. Congratulations, Andre, for the 100th episode. Keep it rocking, man.
Hello and welcome to the Wave of Things. My name is Andrei Savitye. As you can see, I'm a little bit nostalgic right now.
Hi, this is Osanimo from Stockholm, Sweden. Congratulations on the 100th episode of The Wave of Things. It's been really fun to be a part of the show, and I'm really looking forward to the upcoming episodes.
Andre, congratulations on the 100th episode of The Wave of Things. What an accomplishment. What a great series. What a great resource for our music community to have to see great interviews, learn about new bands, see great countryside. It's awesome. And thank you for that. Thank you for being such a great music journalist, festival host, amazing musician, but most of all, thank you for being such a great friend. Cheers. Here's to you. Here's to many more episodes.
So yeah, my name's Jack Duckworth, sometimes known as JJD. I play in Soft Riot, currently living in Glasgow, and I am here posing a number of questions to Andre Savitye of The Wave of Things. So I guess as I was the first guest on the show, we're putting ourselves in a unique situation where I'm turning tables and interviewing Andre.
Hi, Andre. Congratulations on your 100th episode, and that's quite an achievement, and I call that devotion. And I'm looking forward to another 100.
Hello people, I'm Gorian Krstić from band Psychokratia from Belgrade, from Serbia. I'm glad to be part of the Way of Things, and I'm glad to be friend of Andre Mitrnis. Andre, I congratulate you for 100 shows, and I wish you to continue your work even more successfully. This is the new track of band Psychokratia for next album, you know. People, bye!
My first question, a quick summary of your introduction to synth, post-punk, and co-wave. I believe I discovered you a number of years back through your website, The Wave of Things, at savitye.eu, when you were just doing a standalone website. So yeah, basically just how you got started with your interest in this kind of music.
It started with the Velvet Underground when I was around 15. Okay. And I think it's the first real music memory I have. I was always kind of interested in music, but this changed my life, I think. And the next years I was strangely into metal, mostly doom metal and black metal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, at one point it got too repetitive, this kind of music. I always listened to some dark alternative music next to metal. Mm-hmm. But in the metal community, it was kind of a no-go. So I kept it for myself that I was listening to The Cure or Project Pitchfork or such things.
Yeah.
So this was my guilty pleasure.
I'm Luca, founder of Schonwald and Shut Shadows, together with Alessandra. And I'm happy to be part of the 100th episode of Wave of Things, where Andre always offers excellent contemporary music. Bye-bye.
Greetings, Wave of Things viewers, and salutations. Andre, congratulations.
We hope 100 more episodes to come, and that you come back to Portugal to share a glass of wine with us at some stage. To you, cheers.
Did you have any inspirations for starting the Wave of Things in a video format? Is there any existing shows or anything else that was out at the time that made you think, okay, maybe I should do this in a video format? Because I know prior to that, it was strictly kind of like written interviews and written reviews and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I thought that no one did it. No one has done it. So I thought, why not do it? I'm not the most self-confident guy or whatever, but I thought I have enough expertise and enough contacts within this kind of music to
I
do
have it
something
noted
like this.
now in the same question, saying it was, you have a nice, relaxing speaking voice that is inviting for a lot of listeners to take interest in the show. So, I mean,
Thank you very much.
find it when I watch your shows, it's a very nice, measured pace. It's not hyperbolic. It kind of engages the viewers, and you're also, kind of listening to what the people you're interviewing are saying. So that's good.
I don't like very dramatic things, very bombastic things. Huh? I like to keep it authentic and pure.
Hi, we are Ashcode. We are here to congratulate Andre Savatier and the Wave of Things on his 100th show.
Thank you, Andre, for your work and passion. Currently, we are here in our studio working on a new Ashcode release. We can't wait to share it with you in one of the next episodes of Waves of Things. See you very soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello, this is Raymond Nelson from Deus Faust. First of all, I'd like to say happy 100th episode, man. I'm also excited to announce that our second album, Welton Guys, will be coming out on CD October 31st. Once again, congratulations and best wishes, my friend.
How did you start your partnership with the Deus Faust project? It's long distance, so what's the process for composing music, given that this is a long distance setup?
We only work via the internet.
Yeah.
So my music partner, Raymond Nelson, lives in Maine, and he found me via the show. Actually, he knew some of my solo project songs, and he showed me his music and said, "Have a listen. How would you like it?" And then I was mesmerized by his sound, and I asked him, "Do you need a singer?" And that's how it all started.
Does he do all the music and you just do the vocals, or do you kind of do a bit of the music, like suggest ideas, that sort of thing?
He does all the music, but I always propose some changes, how it could be better. But I'm very happy because I think I'm better in singing than composing. So I'm very glad I found Raymond, or he found me.
Yeah. No, it's a good pairing for sure. I've always get curious about like long distance projects because it's obviously you don't have the advantage of working in the same room with the other person.
Hi, I'm Brigitte Handley, and I'd like to congratulate Andre Savitier and the Wave of Things on your 100th show. And what a wave you've created, introducing so many people to great music, bands and places from around the world. Thank you so much for all your hard work and dedication in creating this channel for us to enjoy. And here's to another 100 episodes.
How do you go about choosing artists to interview in the Wave of Things? Is this based on what you see as new releases coming out? So if an artist has just put out something, you go, okay, I'll interview them. Or do you have artists contacting you directly about getting interviewed?
Both ways. There are some artists that approach me and ask, could you do an interview with us? Or sometimes I think, no, I like this music. I would like to invite you. Would you be willing to do this talk? Yeah. So it goes both ways. Basically, I'm happy about anyone who is willing to come on the show. I know it's not easy to just talk. It needs self-confidence.
Some people feel a little bit under pressure in a live interview when they prefer to like write down their answers in their own time. And some people go the other way and they like the spontaneity of being able to just talk and bounce ideas back and forth. So.
Hello, this is Alex from Then Comes Silence. I would like to congratulate Andre for his 100th episode of Wave of Things. Well done.
Have you had any interesting insights or details about the creative process of all the artists you've interviewed? Any examples? I don't know.
Basically, all of them were interesting. Of course, the one with you was very special because it was the first one. So kudos to you for being willing to start this whole thing with me.
No, it's good. But I guess like as you interview more and more people, you kind of get an idea of questions to ask people that kind of like allow you to pull interesting answers out of them. Because I know sometimes with interviews, some people are very reluctant or just don't really know what to say until you kind of like pull out, ask some specific questions. Then things start to get interesting. So.
Hi folks, this is Fan from Newman. I'd like to congratulate André Sabatier and the Wave of Things for the episode 100. Thank you so much for this hard, passionate work and the dedication you're giving to bring us that nice music underground that we love so much. For giving us as well the opportunity to discover and to rediscover some great musicians and artists. And thank you as well for the support you're giving to the underground scene by all your activities such as the Gothic Art Festival. And I wish you a great, pleasant journey to the episode 200. Long live to the Wave of Things.
I'm somehow afraid of the 100th episode because it's a milestone. And it seems like I'm pushing it a bit in front of me.
Well, considering you've done like 100 episodes in about 2.5 years, that's pretty productive. I mean,
it was not always easy to come up with ideas.
Music needs André Sabatier.
Culture needs André Sabatier.
Arts needs André Sabatier.
Goth needs André Sabatier.
Long life, Wave of Things.
So do you kind of like have a set schedule? Like I need to have like the next show up in 2 weeks or something. You're kind of scrambling to, get it set up. Because I mean, there's a lot of graphics involved and stuff like that as well. Also, not only there's like the actual interviewing, but there's obviously doing all the post-production and stuff. So
yeah, that's the main thing, that this takes the most time, the post-production.
Yeah.
As you might know yourself very well. As graphic guy or video guy.
Yeah, it takes ages.
So I would have done much more, many more episodes without the post-production, if someone else could do that. But...
Szymon Gołąb, Wave Press i Transmission Transmisja. A spotykamy się z tego względu, że przed nami 100. wydanie, 100. edycja wideobloga The Waves of Things André Sabatiera. I oprócz tego, że życzę André wszystkiego dobrego i równie wspaniałego poziomu, jaki reprezentuje do tej pory, to chciałem zwrócić Państwa uwagę, że jest to jeden z niewielu współczesnych zagranicznych blogerów, który tak głęboko interesuje się polską zimną falą, ponieważ z André spotkałem się wiele lat temu, kiedy kręcił taki osobliwy dokument o wykonawcach tego gatunku w Polsce, The Polish Cold Wave Journey. Nie ma co przedłużać. André, jeszcze więcej tak wspaniałych odcinków jak do tej pory, kolejnych 100 albo i więcej. Stay safe and stay happy. Dzięki.
Thank you very much, Jack, for this.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Витримай поклик безодні, є лише один шлях до блаженства.